Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the third status presentation of ELSEWORKS. We're so thankful that all of you guys are here today, and we're so excited to share all the progress that we've made so far.
We are excited to share that this is the largest group of analysts in ELSEWORKS history, with 25 analysts. We've been working on 15 different projects this semester, which you'll hear all about today, and we have several new projects on the horizon.
Every organization has a story, but the question is, who tells that story? Here at ELSEWORKS, the communications team gives that story a brand, a voice, and a platform. And today, we're so excited to share with you how we've been able to do that this semester. We're the storytellers, the designers, and the team that pulls back the curtains to shine the light on our analysts and businesses. My name is Amrit, and I am an undergraduate analyst here at ELSEWORKS.
And my name is Keely Marshall, and I'm a senior analyst, and we are both from Madison, Mississippi. And together, we're excited to share with you what the communications team has been building this semester. People usually think that communications is just about making things look pretty. And yes, we do love to have an aesthetic Instagram profile, but our job is so much bigger than that. Our mission is to tell the real story of ELSEWORKS, to highlight the impact our analysts make on campus, in Jackson, and across Mississippi. Through strategic messaging, graphic design, and video storytelling, we connect ELSEWORKS to prospective students, community partners, and most importantly, the local businesses that truly rely on the work that analysts do.
Every post we make, every video we edit, and every spotlight we produce, it all shares one purpose: to show the change that ELSEWORKS creates. Behind the scenes, we're creating meaningful content so that people can truly feel the impact that ELSEWORKS creates. We bring the creative process to life, shaping it into something that everyone can truly connect with. And for example, we're going to share with you one of the project spotlights that we've created for the Millsaps football team.
If they cross the line of scrimmage, I'm taking every one of you out. I want them to remember forever the night they played the Majors.
Coach, we're just analysts.
You better make yourself comfortable. Real comfortable.
Yeah, come on! Come on!
This year, the team has gone in-depth on the numbers behind Majors football. We've identified key statistics such as field position, personnel, and defensive tactical stuff rates for our team and the opposing teams. We're also working on predictive game management models, an LLM that is going to help the coaches make data-backed decisions on the sidelines when it comes to fourth downs and two-point conversions.
And it's not just about what happens on the field. This year, we've been working on fan guides that highlight the team, the students, and the Millsaps community for our major fans. Leave no doubt!
And this semester has been full of momentum. We're launching a brand new podcast. We've already redesigned both the ELSEWORKS and the Business Association of Midtown websites. We're rolling out new project spotlights and analyst spotlights, and we're also creating your favorite Fun Friday posts. Each of these projects helps us highlight the creativity, collaboration, and growth helping at ELSEWORKS every single day.
And yes, we basically are everywhere: Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, and soon our very own podcast that is in the works now. So follow along to see our analyst wins, business transformations, and to see the real impact that we're making here in Jackson, Mississippi.
And speaking of impact, our next team has exactly what it takes to create real change in the community. Gavin and Umema with Midtown Makers. Take it away.
Midtown is the definition of untapped potential. It's vibrant, creative, and full of possibility. And our goal is to help shape that potential into a long-term sustainable growth. My name is Umema, and I'm a graduate analyst from Indore, India.
And my name is Gavin Williams. I'm a senior analyst for Troy, Alabama. Last semester, our team focused on the first phase of this project, housing development. We worked with Midtown partners led by Dr. Christy Hendrick to reimage the empty lot behind Millsaps in Midtown Jackson. Our goal was to explore how this underused space could be transformed into something that supports long-term revitalization. Throughout the semester, we visited the site, we studied its layouts, and developed several mixed-use concepts, including housing, retail, office space. As we built these concepts, we carefully considered walkability, parking, traffic flow, and how this space could increase foot traffic and strengthen community engagement. Towards the end of the semester, we brought those ideas to life using planning and design tools. We explored platforms like Planner 5D and ultimately decided on Canva for its simple use and ability to create clear visual layout models. Our focus was simple: take the overlooked space and turn it to a development that brings energy, density, and sustainable growth back to Midtown.
This semester, we shifted our focus to the Hangar, a proposed soundstage which is going to be the first of its kind in Mississippi. Mississippi has talent, Mississippi has stories, but Mississippi does not yet have the infrastructure to support large-scale production. And because of that, productions leave. For example, Sinners, a major blockbuster set in Mississippi Delta featuring Michael B. Jordan, was filmed out of state. We researched Mississippi's film tax incentive and compared them to neighboring states like Louisiana and Georgia. While Mississippi does offer rebates, other states provide stronger infrastructure and larger funding pools. The Hangar aims to close that gap. It would include a professional soundstage, podcast and recording studios, creative co-working space, and equipment and rental operations. This is not just a creative space, it's an economic infrastructure. Film and media production is a multiplier industry. When a productions come, they don't just rent spaces. They spend on hotels, restaurants, local labor. That spending stays in the community. This semester, our focus has been financial strategy. Using past projections as a blueprint, our team is updating all the numbers to reflect inflation, refining revenue models based on current industry demand, reevaluating operating expense, and developing an investor-ready pitch deck and a resource booklet.
The Hangar isn't just about building a soundstage. It's about building capacity and positioning Mississippi for its next chapter.
Let's go up the streets a few blocks and see what Param and Zainab are doing at Coffee Prose.
Sometimes the best community places don't start with a business plan. They start with a simple question.
And in 2010, that question was, what is missing in this area? Hi everyone, I'm Param, a graduate analyst.
And I'm Zainab, a sophomore analyst. Today, we're sharing the story of Coffee Prose and how it is growing into something even bigger.
So in 2010, the community members of Midtown gathered around a simple question as to what does Midtown really need. And after a thoughtful discussion, they realized the area needed a space where people could connect, work, and spend time together. So once this idea was formed, the next question was, where should it be located? So one of the ladies in that meeting pointed out to the building with yellow and blue tiles and said, how about there? And then 9 years later, that space came into being and Coffee Prose was officially established. And over time, it became a consistent meeting point for students, neighbors, and the broader Midtown community.
Today marks a new chapter for Coffee Prose. Under Midtown Partners and the leadership of Dr. Christy Hendricks, it is transitioning into a non-profit with stronger structure and defined long-term direction. With this evolution, Coffee Prose expands beyond its original model and is being reimagined as a learning lab, intentionally built to advance education, collaboration, and meaningful engagement across Midtown.
So during this transition, we focused on restructuring the donated book inventories that we have. We also completed a detailed cataloging process by organizing books by genre, author, publication, age, and the condition of the book. So once this cataloging process is done, so now it's time for selling these books. So for selling these books, we are coming up, or we can say we are developing a smart pricing model that will refer to the current market value, and it applies automated adjustments based on again age, demand, genre demand, author value, uh, and condition of the book. However, the question still arises: how do we back this vis-a-vis the technological execution? So, for which we are exploring a few software tools such as Airtable, BookBuddy, and Google Books API to improve automation and inventory efficiency.
For Coffee Bros, sustainability means serving the community in a responsible and long-term way. Because the bookstore relies on donated and used books, we're extending the life of each book through structured cataloging and pricing, keeping resources in circulation and accessible to the community. On the coffee side, we conduct competitive pricing analysis and review prices every 6 months to account for inflation and procurement changes. With diversified revenue streams including coffee, books, events, grants, and community support, Coffee Bros is building a stable and sustainable model that allows it to continue serving Midtown for years to come.
At its core, Coffee Prose does continue to blend community, creativity, and connection.
What's changing is not its heart, but its capacity. With a stronger structure behind it, Coffee Bros can now expand its reach, deepen its impact, and serve Midtown more intentionally.
So, most people start their day with a nice cup of coffee. But if you ask me, a mug of beer doesn't sound bad either. So, for what exactly is getting brewed on the other side, we have Russell and Shagun to take you through what Fertile Ground is really doing. Thank you.
When you think about when you think about what makes Jackson special, it's places that bring people together. And if you do that better than Fertile Ground Brewery, it's where good beer meets good company, and where stories, friendships, and ideas are shared over a glass of beer. Hi everyone, I'm Russell Davis, and I'm a senior analyst from New Iberia, Louisiana.
Hi everyone, my name is Shagun, and I'm an undergrad analyst from Indore, India. Fertile Grounds is located in Bellhaven Town Center, and it has become central part of Jackson's community since its opening in 2022. Fertile Grounds is more than just a brewery. It's a place where friends, family, neighbors come together over a great beer, local food, and live music.
The brewery is co-owned by Matthew McLaughlin, a Millsaps College alum, who continues to play an active role in its growth. We met with Matthew at the beginning of the semester, and he shared two major opportunities for our team to explore regarding Fertile Grounds operations and future expansions.
Our team has focused on two major initiatives. First, exploring opportunities for a second potential location, and second, creating a Fertile Ground beer for Millsaps Major and our game days.
Diving into the first initiative, in spring 2025, our team conducted a survey primarily targeting residents in Madison, Mississippi. The goal was to gauge interest in potential Fertile Ground expansion and understand what makes the current brewery special. We asked about drinking habits, brand perceptions, and what people value most in the brewery experience. This semester, we analyzed those results. This is a long-term project for Fertile Ground, and we received very positive feedback with over 680 responses. Our findings were clear. Beer remains the go-to social drink, especially in family-friendly gatherings. Respondents said they valued good food options, outdoor seating, and live music, all things that already make Fertile Ground such a strong community hub.
Our second focus was creating Millsaps partnership with Fertile Ground and working on a beer can design. We researched other schools like LSU, Colorado State, and University of California, and their success shows how these partnerships boost school spirit and community connection. This semester, our ELSEWORKS team presented the beer can design to our co-founder Matthew to get it finalized. The design will be used for Millsaps branded Golden Ale, and that is expected to be sold at our Millsaps football games, our student givings, community, and alumni events. The community, it's a fun way to show school pride while also supporting the local brewery. This collaboration is a way to celebrate local pride while also strengthening the relationship between Millsaps and Fertile Grounds.
Fertile Ground's story continues to evolve, and we're proud to help guide it, using data, community feedback, and creative strategy to ensure that the next phase of growth is both thoughtful and sustainable.
That concludes our presentation for this project and Group 1. Now we'll hand it over to Landry to open the floor for any questions.
Again, we'll open the floor to any questions that we may have for any of these groups, any of these 4 groups. Dean Pfizer?
Just the recommendation on the maps. Did you make a recommendation, yes or no, to move to maps? Or to open?
Oh, no, expansion. Not grounds.
Fertile Grounds.
Yeah, we're gonna expand, or that's.
I think that was probably typed, and I'm sorry. I missed that recommendation.
I'm confused.
Ask him to repeat the question.
Can you repeat the question, sorry?
So, you had a survey, and the survey recommended to expand into Madison?
Yes, sir.
And is it taking that recommendation that we?
Yeah, it's a very good possibility.
We only recommended the beer cans and not the potential second location yet.
Okay.
Any other questions? Any other questions? All right. Any other questions? Okay. I will ask Group 2 to come up to the stand. Northshore, we'll have y'all right here where Param will sit. We'll have Midtown Depot as well over there. And then we'll have River Remedy and Raise to Go on the other side. Northshore. Take this one. This one's a little bit. This one's louder.
So, the way people getting their coffee is changing every day. Convenience is becoming the new standard, and automated cafes are starting to fill in the gaps where a staffed coffee bar can't always make sense.
Especially at Millsaps, where students are heavily involved on campus while playing a sport and trying to stay focused on their education.
Therefore, even our own needs are slightly different and don't match with your traditional coffee shop. Hi, my name is Brady St. Martin. I'm a graduate analyst with ELSEWORKS.
And I'm Willie, a senior analyst from ELSEWORKS, and this is the Northshore Coffee Project.
The real opportunity is simple. People still want quality beverages outside of traditional cafe hours, but staffing late night and low traffic windows is expensive. Zeek is designed to expand availability with a smaller footprint and more labor efficient model.
Zeek is an automated beverage concept designed to serve premium drinks like coffee, matcha, refreshers, and energy-style options with speed, consistency, and convenience.
So Zeek not only extends drink access beyond normal cafe hours, but it also...
As we previously stated about the student life at Millsaps, everybody is really busy all the time, and it's really beneficial to have an option that fits with that changing schedule.
As well as it has a smaller footprint, lower labor costs, and it's just overall more convenient than your traditional cafe. This semester, our ELSEWORKS role has been focused on one thing, bidding the strongest possible pitch deck for Aramark for Zeek.
We created a complete pitch deck and went deep into the financials. Pricing, cost, contribution, margins, break-even volume, and operational assumptions, so Aramark can evaluate this like a real decision and not just a cool concept.
And most importantly, we're treating this like an Aramark rollout conversation. What it needs, how it gets serviced, what success looks like, and what a partnership would look like.
From Aramark's perspective, Zeke fits because it can add a beverage option in high traffic locations without needing a full cafe build-out.
The model we've built is structured around a revenue shared approach and is designed to be no upfront cost to Aramark.
Operationally, it's straightforward. The site requirements are simple: floor space, electricity, and a water line. And the daily workflow is designed to be low touch compared to a running staff coffee line.
So what comes next is pretty clear. We're ready to present our pitch to Aramark and walk them through the full business case, the unit economics, the operating model, and the partnership structure.
Our ask is for Aramark to evaluate Zeke as a scalable beverage solution, with Northshore Coffee as the supplier, and Aramark positioned to manage placement and operations through a revenue share structure. Zeke is the precursor to the new age of coffee, and it's here on Millsaps campus, and we couldn't be more excited about this opportunity.
So from brews to beer, we'll pass it over to Midtown Depot. All right, everybody follow me real quick. Please take a second and close your eyes. All right, it's warm spring air. As the daylight fades and the darkness creeps in, you see a warm orange glow behind your eyelids, and you hear a guitar start to tune in preparation for a show, and cold ones cracking open. Now, where are you? Miami? Las Vegas? No, you're in Midtown Depot, in Midtown Jackson.
And in Jackson, the options usually feel limited. Either stay at home or go to the same few places. There aren't many outdoor spots that are consistently open, feel welcoming, and give people a reason to show up. That's where Midtown Depot already fits, and why it can be such a bigger part of Jackson's routine.
Hi, my name is Brady St. Martin. I'm a graduate analyst from ELSEWORKS from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and also the general manager of the Midtown Depot.
And I'm Willie, junior analyst from Houston, Texas.
Right now, the depot mainly attracts Millsaps students. The space is genuinely awesome. I'm talking turf, tables, stage, games, but a lot of Jackson still doesn't even know it exists.
Because the crowd is so concentrated, turnout revenue can be inconsistent. Some events draw really well and others don't. Plus, the depot has to work around the Millsaps calendar. When students go on breaks, attendance drops sharply, which makes long-term planning difficult.
So what's become clear is that the depot has way more potential than just being a student hangout. The layout and vibe work for anyone who just want to watch a game, grab drinks, host an outing, or just chill.
So the challenge is consistency and reach. If Midtown Depot wants to grow, it needs predictable programming and marketing that reaches beyond the usual crowd. Otherwise, it stays small, and Midtown misses out on having a reliable community gathering place.
So our goal this semester is to help Midtown Depot become more than just a space that only opens when somebody books it. We're working towards steady yet predictable traffic. We want people in Jackson to start thinking of the depot as a real option on a normal week.
One big change this spring is that we're bringing a mix of public and private events as well as unique one-off events. So the depot has consistent energy, but also variety. On the operations side, we've built structure that makes growth manageable. We've drafted a standard event contract so expectations are clear. And we've developed more consistent pricing and booking system that's easy to run, as well as tracking sales and attendance metrics.
And the reason that matters is simple. Once you start bringing in more events and more groups, you need systems that keep it smooth so that the depot can scale without being chaotic. A big part of this is keeping track of how many people are coming to our events and how much they're spending so that we can plan accordingly for bigger ones and scale down for more intimate events. So when we say public, private, and unique events, here's what we mean. Public events are reoccurring, open to anyone event nights, such as the bingo night tonight at 7:30. Doors open at 7:30, bingo starts at 8, everybody show out. It's gonna be a great time, as well as our normal just opening for game days and watch parties. Private events are booked for groups such as crawfish bowls, like we've got a fraternity from Millsaps coming this spring, as well as UMMC scheduled. and even Millsaps' very own Major Mike Madness. And for unique events, for these bigger moments that pull in new people and build buzz, we're starting to, in progress, we have boxing events. We did a Mardi Gras party a few weeks ago, and we even had a heavy metal concert this past fall.
The main point is it's not random anymore. The depot is moving toward a predictable rhythm with a plan that makes a steady attendance and bigger moments.
So our team role this semester has been building rhythm, consistent public events, theme nights, opening for sporting events, and marketing that builds awareness.
And we're supporting it with structure, contracts, pricing, booking organization, and event tracking. So Midtown has tools that last after the semester.
So that's where Midtown Depot is now, what we've improved, and where we're headed this spring. We're going to roll on over to two guys who are going to smoke this next presentation, though. Phillip and Alfredo, why don't y'all come on up?
River Remedy is a strong competitor in the cannabis industry, but where does its competition stand?
This semester, the ELSEWORKS team analyzed River Remedy main competitors and created a finalized report of our findings, which we then presented to the leadership of the company.
I'm Phillip, a math and music double major and a sophomore from New Orleans.
And I'm Alfredo Espinosa, industrial engineer major and an MBA student from Mérida, Yucatan, Mexico.
Grounded in strong research and a focus on patient well-being, River Remedy works to break the taboo surrounding cannabis, invest in Mississippi communities, and provide patients with reliable products that meaningfully support their health.
Reaching more than 40 counties across Mississippi, they are positioned to serve patients statewide, offering support for individuals managing serious medical conditions.
I got it. Reaching more than 40 counties across Mississippi, they are positioned to serve patients statewide, offering support for individuals managing serious medical conditions.
Our team researched competitors near each of the River Remedy-owned dispensaries in these counties.
We defined the main drivers of dispensary choice that River Remedy can actually influence week to week. The categories we considered are on the screen. These categories address how easy is it for a patient to find you, trust you, choose you, and come back. Dab's Dispensary and Root Down Cannabis are two of River Remedy's biggest statewide competitors. They have many locations, and they scored well in all of the categories. Dab's offers the cheapest prices in the state, and Root Down has a stellar reputation for community and quality.
Flower and Daughter and Mary Jane Herb are unique competitors because of their spa-like environment. They have created a sense of community and friendship in their customer base through this aesthetic.
Cultivated Wellness and Sweetgrass Dispensary both use educational messaging coded towards the medical benefits of cannabis. This creates trust in their product and loyalty in their customers.
The first recommendation we had was to unify their social media presence. Each location runs its own account with a different name and identity. So we suggested moving one to one centralized account. At the same time, we recommended keep each of the dispensaries' local name, but standardizing so the locations still feel local while overall brand stays consistent.
River Remedy knows its position. They sell a quality product and price it as such. We suggested that they continue with this approach and reinforce it with educational and informative marketing.
Our final recommendation was that they should target more of the female demographic. They should try to incorporate more of the wellness aspect of cannabis into their advertising to get more female customers.
We presented our findings to Brad Chisholm, the owner. This conversation about the competition and self-analysis gave us valuable insights that led to a discussion of possible next steps. Our goal is to continue to refine this analysis and use it to improve River Remedy's future. Now, from one form of smoking to another, we'd like to introduce Raise to Go Barbecue.
If you walk down downtown Jackson today, you'll see a mix of vibrant spots and empty spaces. Our project this semester has been about understanding how small businesses can thrive and bring energy back into the heart of Jackson. My name is Keely Marshall.
My name is Anthony Jasinski, and we're both senior analysts and both from the Jackson metro area.
We've been working closely with Kip Gilbert and Jeff Speed, the developers behind East Capitol Street Properties. They're the one who leased the buildings to Raise Barbecue. Kip and Jeff really want to see their tenants succeed, especially Ray and Tasha, the owners of Raise Barbecue. And that lines up perfectly with our goals for downtown Jackson.
Raise is a locally owned barbecue restaurant. It's really become a staple on Capitol Street. And with Kip and Jeff's help, we've been able to take a look from an operational standpoint. And our biggest accomplishment so far has been our full business audit on Raise. See, the audit looks at every step of the customer experience, from arrival, ordering, to even parking. We found that it's about highlighting what's already working well, recommending easy and manageable changes that Ray can take advantage of.
Our visits and meeting with Ray gave us great insights into his operations. He shared details about staffing challenges, menu performance, and what he'd like to do differently going forward. Those conversations helped us see, not just from a customer standpoint, but from the perspective of an owner.
Majority part of our audit focused on the menu. You see, Ray's has an extensive menu, everything from ribs, smoked wings, to seafood platters, to loaded fries. The food is why you come back. We found that sometimes the menu being so cluttered, it's easier to recommend options like a digital menu where it's easier for the customer to see the many options.
We also recommended adding a Ray's favorite symbol next to standout dishes. This would help guide new customers toward the most popular dishes and make the ordering experience easier. Keeping in-store signage, online signage, and in-store signage consistent would help the ordering experience. And we've also suggested adding upsell prompts like make it a combo or add a side, and this will help decrease confusion and increase overall sales. In short term, we suggested a few simple fixes like adding a dedicated shelf for pickup orders, adding a countertop container for utensils and napkins, and also updating Ray's online keywords to make them easier to find. We also recommended changing the name from Raise to Go to either just Raise or Raise Barbecue, because that makes it seem like more of a takeout spot, and we don't want it to seem like that. Ray and Tasha have been very open to the changes and recommendations we've been making. They've already changed the name to Raise Barbecue and more, and they've also updated their logo, which you can see.
Long-term, there's an opportunity to streamline their ordering operations. Right now, Raise uses both Menufy and Square for their orders, but we found that if they consolidate this into Square entirely, it could likely help them with procedures. Another suggestion we have for the long term is interior designs. So things like a TV, which they've already added in, which we're happy about.
Our audit of Ray shows how small targeted improvements can support the bigger vision for downtown. By working with Kip, Jeff, Ray, and Tasha, we've been able to understand the challenges on East Capitol Street and ways to strengthen Ray's business while contributing to the momentum of Jackson. It's progress built one business at a time. That concludes our presentation for Group 2. Thanks for your attention, and we'll now hand it over to Landry to open up the floor for any questions.
Great job, groups. Like I said, for any of these groups, Group 2, any of these projects that y'all have questions on, please feel free to ask any of our analysts. Yes, ma'am.
Airmark is the food supplier for Millsaps. Thank you for asking the question. It's a great question. We didn't explain that entirely in our presentation. The Airmark is a major food supplier for Millsaps campus, as well as a lot of local and bigger universities across the country. They also do stuff like airports
But to add on to that, the big purpose to sell it to Aramark would be if we can't sell it to them, then once they buy it, students can start using their major bucks, which we would find would be a huge addition, as a lot of people see that it's more beneficial to just go to eco grounds, whereas you could go to Northshore, the Zeke coffee machine, if the eco grounds line was too long and you needed to get going.
Any other questions that we have for the groups? Yes, sir.
I have a question. I did want to point out, tell you all, we got a nice compliment, we got a big raise from the commissioner and job
Thank you. Any other questions that we have? Yes, ma'am.
And I might have missed it, but in the race presentation, you mentioned that it fit most of the goals, which are doing fit the goals for downtown Jackson, or what are those goals? What were those?
It's a great question you're asking. I think that the goal of downtown Jackson and East Capitol Street in general is to really make sure that these tenants are attracting business to create a vibrant, city center. And so, with improving Ray's operations, that has an effect to increase them as well. And so that's what we're doing.
Any other questions? Yeah, yeah, there we go. That's what we love to see.
I mean, this is a good learning moment because some of these, as you all know, some of these projects pivot, evolve. Some of them pivot pretty quickly, so you can get questions on something you haven't been working on lately. And there was an earlier example of that too. So it's good to kind of practice when we practice for the final presentations. Think about, try to anticipate those questions that may come on areas that you're just referencing lightly for various reasons.
Very good. Any other questions? Okay, we're gonna cut them off there. I'm gonna ask group 3 to please now come to the stage. Majors football, I'll have y'all right here. Mississippi Athletic Commission right next to them, and then Galloway and Mississippi Public Health Institute over here. Thank you. You're taller, so you need to know something. This one?
Okay, so do you want to move this down?
I will.
Okay. So when people think about football analytics, they probably think about big Division I programs that have teams dedicated to interpreting the data. But the truth is, football analytics is all about using the data to make smarter decisions. For this team, we've been able to use data from the Millsaps football team to create tools to help support the team on the field while also enhancing the fan experience around the program.
Hi, I'm Evan, and I'm an undergraduate analyst from Pell City, Alabama.
And I'm Amrit, a graduate analyst here at ELSEWORKS.
Power 4 college football programs spend over $1 million per year just on analytics. The majors don't exactly have that kind of cash sitting around, but they could still benefit from some data analytics. So as one does when they have a problem, Coach Select called ELSEWORKS and a new project was born. He gave us raw huddle data and told us what would actually help the team win games. From there, we started building a weekly 4-part scouting report, breaking down not just our opponents' tendencies, but our own as well. Our initial reports involved 2 key weekly charts. The first chart shows run-pass percentages based on personnel and down and distance. Personnel just tells us which skill players are on the field. So the first number is running backs and the second number is tight ends. This chart breaks down run-pass tendencies by field position and down and distance. For example, in the highlighted section, you can see that Sewanee ran the ball 67% of the time on 1st and 10 between their own 20 and 44-yard line, leading up to that senior day win, which we obviously take credit for. Insights like this help the coaching staff anticipate tendencies and adjust. For example, loading the box to stop the run in those situations. Previously, building those charts took hours of manual work each week. This semester, we automated the process using AI tools and advanced Excel formulas. So once the raw data is pasted in, everything updates instantly, giving us more time to build new tools for Coach. This havoc and stuff rate chart is an example of one of those outputs. It shows the defense's ability to keep offenses off schedule, create turnovers, and negative plays. It requires some more complex formulas and a few frustrating Excel moments, but we were able to build another fully automated report for the staff.
So now I'm going to tell you guys a little bit more about the fan guides that we created this past semester. We had two different editions. We had the homecoming edition, and then we also had the Hall of Fame game edition. And this was another idea inspired by Division I programs. And our goal was to really highlight not only the football team, but also the Millsaps campus, the student life, and also just the hidden gems in Jackson, because we do not talk about those enough. In the Hall of Fame edition, we gave we dedicated a page to each one of the people that were getting inducted into the Hall of Fame, and highlighted. Both of them highlighted the team, the opponent's team, student spotlights, student organizations, some administration, and we had all of that in here. But one specifically, I wanted to share one of my favorite pages that I got to make, which highlighted the student body, but it was the homecoming court. This was really, really exciting to make because it gave me an opportunity to reach out to all of these students and get information from them, and all their parents were super, super excited to see this when they came to the game. So this is one of the ways that we've been trying to get people more excited to come to the games and build excitement around the program.
Even though the season's over, we are still grinding. The team's in the weight room and we're in Excel. We're currently building a fourth down decision model to help guide high-pressure calls with data-backed recommendations. We're approaching it in two separate ways. The first is a machine learning model built using Python. This version has the potential to account for dozens of variables and improve over time as it learns from itself. The second is a simpler Excel model. This one calculates expected win probability for every possible fourth down choice, weights each outcome by its likelihood, and recommends the option that maximizes expected win probability. Our goal is to create something similar to models used by top Division I programs, but built specifically off Division III and Millsaps data. But ultimately, we just want to make sure Coach Lake's name and face never show up on a headline like this.
And now we're going to hand it off to Mallory and Collin.
Galloway United Methodist Church is a historic church located in the heart of downtown Jackson. It has great outreach throughout its entire community. But there's one issue that sustains throughout the whole congregation. It does not have an involvement with 18 to 25-year-olds. On a typical Sunday, you'll go and you'll see an involved congregation and people online, but you won't see the college and young adult students throughout the service. This is where our project with Galloway picked up. Hi, my name's Collin, over senior analyst here at ELSEWORKS.
And I'm Mallory Richardson, also a senior analyst. Galloway has a strong legacy and service impact, but its engagement with young adults lacks consistency and rhythm. It is one of the oldest churches in Jackson with a powerful reputation through Grace Place and deep community service. Its mission is centered on generosity, love, and justice. There are existing touch points with college students, including the Millsaps Partnership, Adopt a College, Wednesday night dinners, and the college Christmas party. But these are isolated moments. They do not form a predictable weekly pathway specifically designed for 18 to 25-year-olds.
And the issue isn't interest. Young adults want to be involved and they want to be within the church. The issue is things like structural barriers such as consistency, capacity, and staffing issues. Leadership generally wants these young adults here, and the Strategic Planning Committee knows this. And it's not a vision problem either. It's an execution based on structure. Staffing capacity is limited, and young adults live irregular lives that constantly have them on the go. Many engage online, but when they go into the congregation and go on these Sundays, they find themselves being blended into the broader ministry and not anything within their stage of life. Without having structure and rhythm, it's hard to build a community that is engaged week in and week out.
Our research showed that successful young adult ministries always comes down to rhythm, relationships, and relevance. We met with Brad Chisholm and Virginia Carlton from the Strategic Planning Committee, Reverend Katie from Student Ministries, and the head pastor, Reverend Miss Kelly, to better understand their internal strengths and limitations. We also studied churches succeeding in this space. Bondren thrives because of predictable weekly rhythm. Pine Lake builds belonging through small group meetings, and Methodist ministries at UMMC engage students by giving them leadership opportunities and approachable gatherings. Across all of them, the pattern is the same: consistent rhythm, real relationship depth, and content that connects major life decisions. When those three align, students always show up and stay.
Because of this pattern, it has led us to build a 5-year roadmap for Galloway. Year 1 sees us recommending them hire a part-time young adult and college minister that is personable, who can go to these campuses and build these relationships. And not only that, someone who is close enough in age where they can relate to all these students. Year 2 builds consistency through casual social events that's low in pressure and makes people feel welcome. Year 3 launches the monthly college worship night that students can come and they'll have food, they'll have conversation, and they'll have fellowship with one another. Year 4 builds consistency by moving that to 2 times a month. And year 5, the goal is to have a sustainable community and ministry to where students are involved and they're being woven into the life of the church.
Ultimately, this project is about turning scattered attendance into real community. Galloway has the location, the mission, and the heart for young adults. What it needs now is steady structure that students can trust, return to, and eventually lead into the future.
And now, from preaching in the pulpit to punching in the face, here's Carson with the Mississippi Athletic Commission.
Thank you, Collin and Mallory. All right. I'm Carson Chasnack, a graduate analyst with the Millsaps ELSEWORKS program from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. All right. So now we're going to shift into one of the projects we've been recently excited about, the MAC. This project is all about helping grow the visibility, the overall professionalism of combat sports across the state, and really positioning Mississippi as a legitimate hub for these events. So what the MAC does is it regulates the combat sports stateswide. It ensures the safety, the fairness, and it promotes Mississippi's roles in athletic and entertainment. Recently, we've been capturing video and photo content at live events, trying to boost the digital storytelling and strengthen the brand presence with all the partnerships around the state. When most people watch a fight, they focus on the punches. We focus on the story behind them, the energy, the promotion, and the communication that brings Mississippi's combat sports to life. This semester, we're helping the Mississippi Athletic Commission bridge the gap between regulation and connection, making sure every event, fighter, and fan has a voice in this growing community. So the Mississippi Athletic Commission, or MAC, oversees all professional combat sports across the state, from boxing, MMA, wrestling, and kickboxing. Their mission is to protect the athletes, ensure fairness, and promote safe, legitimate sporting events. And with combat sports on the rise, events like Off the Hook in Biloxi and in Hattiesburg, the Commission plays a key role in both athlete safety and economic development. These fights bring hundreds of fans, fill hotels, and boost local businesses, which is exactly the kind of community impact that ELSEWORKS loves to support. So the main gap that we identified is that while the Commission is doing important work behind the scenes, there's not a strong public-facing presence. There's limited awareness, inconsistent promotion, and not a clear centralized place for fighters, promoters, and fans to go for information. And that's where we saw a big opportunity, not just to fix that, but to really elevate the entire perception of combat sports in Mississippi. So far, we focused on building a stronger foundation from a communications and branding standpoint. That includes improving how the information is shared, thinking how events are marketed, and creating more consistency in how the Commission presents itself. So everything we've done is centered around making the MAC feel more professional, accessible, and legitimate to both participants and fans. Something new we've developed for the promoters is the creation of an informational book for the Mississippi Athletic Commission. The goal here was simple: create one centralized resource or professional resource that clearly explains everything someone would need to know about the MAC. The MAC informational book gives clear
clean overview of the Mississippi Athletic Commission and why it matters. Then shifts into a city-based guide that helps people actually experience the event weekend. It highlights key venues, where fights can be hosted, what each location is like, and what's nearby. Then lays out the best nightlife options for after the event with bars, lounges, late night food, and places that fit different vibes. To round it out, it also calls out the surrounding hotspots in each city, like popular districts, entertainment areas, local attractions, and go-to hangout spots. So fighters, teams, fans. All right, to round it out, it also calls out the surrounding hotspots in each city, like popular districts, entertainment areas, and local attractions that are go-to hangout spots. So fighters, teams, fans, and sponsors can quickly plug into the best parts of the city without having to research everything themselves. What this does is it brings structure and clarity to something that previously felt a little scattered. It helps new promoters get involved more easily, reduces confusion, and overall makes the organization feel a lot more professional and established. Because when people understand the process and trust the system, you naturally start to see more participation, better events, and more consistency across the board. So between improving marketing, branding, and now adding a resource like the information book, we're helping set the foundation for the MAC to grow in a real, sustainable way. And now for the Mississippi Public Health Institute, Collin Edwards, and Kris. It's Christy, sorry.
Strong public health institutes don't just happen. Instead, they're built with intention through governance, clear communication, and funding strategy. This semester, our ELSEWORKS team partnered with Mississippi Public Health Institute to study how other public health institutes around the nation operate and how Mississippi's own institute can improve.
I'm Collin Edwards, Senior Analyst.
And I'm Kris Arrington, a Senior Analyst at ELSEWORKS. Under the leadership of Dr. Steve Pickering, we were challenged to think beyond short-term goals and focus on long-term sustainability.
MSPHI plays a key role in Mississippi's public health landscape. The long-term impact is determined. On how revenue, governance, and public visibility are structured.
We analyzed public health institutes across all 50 states using the National Network of Public Health Institutes directory. You'll see here that we reviewed IRS Form 990s, we evaluated revenue concentration, website clarity, and examined governance structures within all of these public health institutes.
We aren't asking them how much money they raise. What we're asking them is how resilient their models are in case funding priorities were to shift.
Our research showed that grant dependence is the norm. Most public institutes are operating about 80 to 100% on grant funding. This shows vulnerability.
And very few institutes generate meaningful public health program service revenue through events like conferences, training, or consulting. Examples like the Texas Health Institute generate over 30% of program service revenue through things such as paid summits and forums, and that type of diversification creates stability within the institute.
We also found that digital clarity also impacts credibility. Many institutes that have strong branding and transparent reporting build greater trust with the stakeholders.
And governance matters. The best in practice boards carry, on average, between 5 to 13 members to create and carry an odd number as well to create decision efficiency, structure, signal stability within these organizations. Our goal this semester has been simple. It's been analysis, identifying these national benchmarks, and where MSPHI stands in the midst of it.
And ultimately, this isn't about revenue design or websites. It's about creating an institute that's strong enough to support the entire state. When we strengthen Mississippi Public Health Institute's foundation, we improve
the health across Mississippi. Thank you.
Okay. Sweet. These microphones will figure these out. I don't know what's going on with that. Just put it back as this time. Anyway, any questions for any of these four teams that we have on the screen? Any questions? Ryan?
My question is for the Millsaps football team. I know that the relationship between ELSEWORKS and Millsaps Athletics is primarily focused on the football team right now, but I was wondering with y'all's proven success this past season, have y'all been approached by any other athletic teams here at Millsaps to do something similar, or are there talks about doing something like that in the future?
The only thing I can give you is that our presentation on research day, one of the volleyball players asked if we could potentially do that for their team.
Perfect. Thank you for the question. Brady?
I have a question for Collin and Mallory. Us being a Methodist college, and you guys work with the Methodist Church, have you ever thought about running small groups of Bible studies through Millsaps on campus for students?
Yeah, so Galloway is currently involved with the Christian Collective here at Millsaps. So their current youth pastor, Reverend Keely, comes every other Monday to the Christian Collective and does kind of something similar. But our target and our goal is to do this for Galloway and have Galloway create a sustainable youth group.
Any other questions? Anybody? Analysts? Faculty? Okay. Hopefully we can eat this food in peace and no fire alarms. We're going to bring in, guys, can we bring in the food? Some of the guys, but thank y'all so much for y'all's attention. And let's get moving because I see some people out there and I want to steal our food. So let's go. Good job, y'all.